Today's been a really terrible day. I woke up early this morning and she looked horrible. Like her face was so red and so swollen. She was clearly having an allergic reaction to something. She was breathing really fast. Her face was like so flushed and she was so swollen. Mostly her face and her neck, but honestly her whole body looks big. So I got her up and I got her into the bathroom, and it was just, oh my gosh, she was breathing so hard just walking. I mean, her bathroom is right next to her bedroom. It wasn't like she had to walk far. The only thing I did different last night was I gave her a liter of lactated ringers, which she's had many, many, many times before. She hasn't had it in about 2 weeks because her ostomy output has been so much less lately. So I immediately gave her Benadryl, famotidine, the treatment for mast cell, and obviously stopped the lactated ringers. And I infused it really slow. I mean, she got a liter over probably like 14 hours. It wasn't like I dumped a whole bunch in her quickly. So about an hour after I gave the Benadryl, she looked better. She's still extremely swollen, but her face was less hot, less flushed. She was breathing slow and normally. She looked not great. I started her TPN at 5 o'clock, and by 7, it was like immediately like back to the same thing. Breathing super fast, really red, really swollen. Gave another dose of Benadryl and famotidine, and I give her Zyrtec. She's had all the Benadryl that she can have today. I contacted her immunologist who we saw last week, who thinks she has a primary immunodeficiency disorder, primarily probably a T cell deficient disorder. He did sent off testing to the Mayo Clinic last week, which is a gene swab testing for a whole bunch of different immunodeficiency disorders. Obviously, that's going to take several weeks to come back. She has had prolonged chronic inflammation in her gut the entire time, so I would not be surprised. It looks, her symptoms today looked like classic mast cell symptoms. I put it in ChatGPT and was like, this is what's happening, and number 1 was mast cell. I messaged, the allergist. I sent him pictures, and he was like, yeah, that looks like an allergy. I had sent him some test results that he wanted she had some weird infections from, her eye infection, the one that caused her to lose her eye. And then she had a weird fungus in her lungs when they first intubated her, like very first, which was weird. And then, of course, whatever caused the GI stuff. And then she had a weird PICC line infection. So ultimately, he does think that she has some sort of immunodeficiency disorder. It feels like it's unlikely that she's allergic to lactated ringers. He said it's very rare, but we just laugh when they say, oh no, it couldn't be that because it's too rare, because that's the story of Oli's life, and it would be, even there are no documented cases of one individual being allergic to both lactated ringers and TPN. I don't know. It sure looks like an allergy. I just documented everything. I videoed everything so I can, show the doctors. I messaged back and forth with the GI doctor as well and sent her pictures. She's very responsive and receptive, and so everybody kind of knows what's going on. And I just feel terrible. I feel like for the last, however many months it's been, 1.5 years, I'm just slowly watching my daughter fade away. And it's just an indescribable feeling. Like I'm just consumed 24/7 with thoughts of like trying to troubleshoot, what could this be? What could that be? What does this mean? Let me look up that. Let me look up this. I can't even focus anymore because I have just been, this has taken over my entire life. I want to find an answer. I feel like we're on the right path finally, but I feel like solely driven, like I'm driving the bus, right? And hopefully I'm not driving it off a cliff. Hopefully I'm driving in the right direction. It feels like we're in the right direction, but like you have to fight, you have to make them listen, because they just blow you off. And for all these months, they've just kind of shrugged their shoulders and said, we don't know. And I'm like constantly pushing. Like, I'm not going to give up. Like, I'm going to keep looking and looking. I will not give up until there's no more breath left in my body. Like, I will keep trying to help her, because that's what we all do. Like, that's what every one of us would do in this situation. Good and bad news. Obviously terrible because she looks so bad, but I mean, it's one more clue and maybe one more possible explanation or symptom or proof that I can show them in pictures and videos, like documenting, like, this is what she looked like when I gave Benadryl, and this is what she looked like, and this is what she looked like in the afternoon, and then this is what she looked like before I started the TPN, and then boom, immediately 2 hours later, this is what she looked like. And then let's look back at all these other pictures that I can show the exact same thing. I feel like I have to like document and show them, you know, or else they just blow me off and like, oh no, that's too rare, or that would never happen, oh, that can't be possible. Like, I've heard that so many times. So I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm not going to let them blow me off. I'm not going to let them try to convince me it's something that it's not, or that it is nothing, because it is.